Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm here to review Tulsa, the Fire and the Forgotten. And this is a new documentary from PBS that I got to watch on PBS Documentaries channel on my Amazon, and this focuses on the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacres, which, what is it? It was a large massacre of burning and killing of black people and destroying of their property in Tulsa that honestly really hadn't been brought up in history classes across this country or really focused on the last couple of years. Like, it's brought up and focused on in the new Watchmen series and Lovecraft Country, and it's finally getting a spotlight put on them and like celebrating Juneteenth, and with all of this focus of this was a thing that really happened and was terrible, and we should talk about it. And this is from director Jonathan Silvers, and basically this documentary lays it all out. So like, you want a history lesson, this documentary does indeed teach you that lesson. It has historians that are there to specifically make sure that this is outlined and done properly and said this is what happened. And it's a terrible thing. This documentary talks to generations of black people and the impact that it had on them. And that's significant and relevant and interesting in the way that it portrays that. And it shows the multi-generational trauma that this event had on this culture. And besides that, this documentary is very much a PBS documentary and feels like something you'd watch on TV. There isn't a whole lot of energy or spark to a lot of it. It does really rely upon the contributions of the actual people being interviewed here for that. Like, this is an hour-and-a-half documentary and felt like it could have just been an hour kind of thing, and it just kind of feels like it drags on, doesn't have a whole lot of energy to it, and nothing particularly interesting from a technical standpoint. It's a very standard, by the books, by the numbers kind of documentary. It's informative. It has some testimonials from people that add a little bit of intrigue to it, but overall, it's just, you want a history lesson, here you go, and we get that. And it's done in an efficient and just there it is kind of way that isn't going to be sparking your interest or really grabbing your attention in any particular way, but just there it is. So watch it, learn, and remember. And I feel like that's the most important thing that we can do with this situation, is to know and remember that this happened and never forget it, and keep making sure that we're checking ourselves and that stuff like this doesn't happen anymore. And this documentary accomplishes that, at least, and I feel like that's the most important thing, even if it's not the most interesting or compellingly created and realized documentary. But overall, you have this new PBS documentary. Feels like a PBS documentary, but it's definitely worth your watch because it is important. You could check out some of the other options. I don't know how they are. This is the only one I watched, but if you're going to watch this one, this is what you're going to get out of it. But those are my thoughts on Tulsa, the Fire and the Forgotten. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.